We are adding on to the habit stack of 2025, and it will be called Just One More. It is just one more round, just one more drill, just one more stretch. At the end of the training block, I will add just one more thing so that I can get just that little bit better.
Before we get into this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel and start a micro habit of liking all my posts. It helps out tremendously. Thank you.
If you have a hard time, I personally have a hard time with regulating some of my negative behaviors, especially if you have ADHD like me. You know, my problem with ADHD is that I start chasing dopamine more than the actual goals and self-development that I actually am trying to go for. Thing that's easier short-term, and then you get long-term consequences. You know, somebody is lazy like me, who doesn't want to do any work, and if I do have to do work, you know, I'm disciplined so I can do it, but the problem is, like, I don't want to do it. So you don't need to change everything all at once. In fact, that's what makes it difficult and why people, I think, don't change, and why I haven't changed, because I try to do too much at once. The trick is, like, small habits. I am by no means a productivity guru or anything, but I've tried a million different things and have failed a million different things. And let me tell you, the one thing that has consistently worked is just setting myself little challenges, little goals about the process of doing things, not the actual results. So 2024, the process was make an average of one video a day for a year. Making the goal the process rather than the result has actually returned quite a bit of benefit. All right, so now that I'm done with my lift, we're gonna go venture out into the world, and I am going to talk to you about what habit stacking is and why it works, and potentially if you should do it too. Whenever I'm talking about habit stacking, what it reminds me a lot of is getting skill points in like MMORPGs. Like if you've ever done Skyrim or World of Warcraft, you get skill points like strength and charisma and stuff. But this is actually investing into something that's real, which is your behaviors and habits. So for my character, I'm putting my skill points into martial arts, things like kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, MMA, but I'm also putting skill points into developing myself as just a better person all around. But one of the big takeaways and the first few habits I installed, what were they? They were no drinking and smoking and journaling. Those two habits by themselves don't get me better at martial arts at all. Zero. Some skill points that you put into yourself are going to improve you overall. Now, for instance, no drinking and smoking. Look, listen, if you guys have ever dealt with alcoholism, I know I have, it will fuck your life up, okay? So just not drinking, like if you have an addiction of some sort, just not drinking should be your first step, because it improves your overall life by like 10 to 15%, and maybe less, maybe it's just 5%. But either way, it is free points that you're leaving on the table. You know, next up is journaling. Something about journaling is a little strange because, you know, you kind of feel like a dork. You feel like you have a diary everywhere you go, and you essentially do. You might as well call it a diary. But writing out your thoughts clearly and concisely is really, truly the best mental health tool that I would fucking give anybody. I use it for myself because I often neglect emotions, not because of choice, but because I have a hard time connecting with my emotions. So sometimes I will be emotional. People will ask me if I'm okay, and the answer that I have to give is, I don't know. I have to think about it, and I genuinely do have to think about it. I have complex emotions. I recognize them. I can work through them, but I'm not always aware of them. So journaling helps a lot with that. Next one that I installed was actually a 10% savings habit. Every single paycheck I get, I have to put 10% away. I'm doing this until the rest of 2025 with the goal to finish my tattoo sleeves. So there's a little, you know, prize at the end of it, but the actual underlying habit is just making sure that I'm smarter with money. It's one of those things that will just improve the rest of your life. Now, of course, for the month of May, this was actually the first habit that I installed that was martial arts specific. And that habit's called Just One More. Just one more is kind of a mentality more than anything, which just means go for that extra step. Or if something's hard, just remember you're just one more away. You know, you can throw one more punch. I can step one more stair if I'm climbing stairs. You can always do one more. So that one's simple. Look how gorgeous this house is. Hold on one second. Look at this, just a little darling place in Kansas City. This is a little bit of the ADHD going, but man, look at that. Just maximizing your space here. That front yard is gorgeous. Here's a few reasons why I like habit stack. What's nice about it is it's just every month you just install one new behavior. So it's not too bad. The behavior can be pretty small. Anytime I've wanted to change behaviors, oh, I'm gonna go on this diet, I'm gonna do this. I try to like go on this like power surge where I'm like essentially trying to change my whole life in one go. There's nothing else that you would do where the expectation is that you're immediately amazing at it. But 30 days is around the right amount of time to get accustomed to a habit. Not fully, and it also depends on how difficult the habit is. Some habits are more difficult than others. And the thing is that modifying a habit, it becomes subconscious. So I don't have to worry about it anymore. It's like a little trick for your brain, you know? I can install specific behaviors that I would like to see in myself, and they just work. And I can keep doing it. No, get fucked, so I'm just gonna record like this. What are we talking about, Mario?
What do we talk about?
Yes.
Not wanting to lift?
Not wanting to lift?
No. You gotta do it, man. You gotta fire, you got fucking goals, you gotta achieve, man. I need to start fucking lifting too.
Sometimes you don't want to do it. Let me tell you, like today, I didn't want to do it at all. I got up, did my jiu-jitsu class, absolutely sucked ass, got beat by every single person, from the biggest to the smallest, men and women, all different age brackets. When you're getting your ass whooped, and you still persevere and you still show up, that's where that grit and determination is made. Habit stacking 2025 challenge. We're doing great, and then all of a sudden, failure strikes. So, as I'm sure everyone knows, failure is a very common thing. For instance, my 10-minute a week YouTube habit has not been good. And the reason for that is because, frankly, a 10-minute YouTube video, especially since I've been creating just reels, is actually pretty difficult. And the perfectionist inside me is like, hey, it's got to be this way, it's got to be perfect. And then I talked to David, my coach, Coach Vava, owner of BodyFit, and he's like, oh, well, you've got to create YouTube videos or reels that are of like a certain amount of quality, and you know, you don't need to have any more practice, and don't produce shit content. And I get all that, and then it just puts me in a state of like paralysis where I'm like, oh, okay, well then I'm just not gonna produce anything because it's got to be perfect, and I'm not gonna do this 10-minute YouTube video a week habit because then I'm gonna have to produce shit content. And you know what? I just have to be okay with the fact and the reality that sometimes it's not perfect. That sometimes it's the best you can do. In the book, The Power of Habit, there are 3 variables that make up a habit: cue, routine, and reward. If any 3 of those are off, the subconscious behavior is eventually going to fail. Now, in my YouTube video habit, the reason that I haven't been producing content is because the cue hasn't been very good, and frankly, the routine hasn't been established. It's also a very hard habit to do because it's multiple habits kind of tied into one. It's filming, editing, and posting. It's kind of like 3 different things at once. So that's why it's been kind of difficult. You know, that being said, we're gonna get back on that wagon. I still do believe in consistency. I do believe in progress over perfection, and that's what we're aiming for. I want you to come check out BodyFit Kansas City for the best jiu-jitsu, best coaching, honestly, overall best experience that you can get in self-development. Nothing even fucking matters. Like 10 minutes is not even that much. Fucking YouTube videos are hard. Why am I doing this? I'm probably gonna fail. Nothing matters. Something like that. You're never enough.